The following episode of Makeup and Movies is rated PG-13. Parents strongly cautioned. Hey friends. You guys, I hope you're prepared for today's video. I don't think I have ever felt this strongly about a movie I was going to review, and I don't know what feeling I'm feeling so strongly, but it's just a strong feeling. So welcome to Makeup and Movies. I forgot to say that. If you're new here, this is just a fun series on my channel where I review a movie that I really like or hate. Usually it's like a bad movie. I do my makeup at the same time. It keeps me busy, makes the video a little more entertaining. I break down the movie clip by clip. I recreate the scenes that I think need work, and we have an okay time. I had a whole list and all these notes prepared for all these other movies. I had On the Line with Lance Bass. I had Honey. I had Raise Your Voice. I had all this stuff lined up, and when I discovered this movie, it trumped all of them. So today's episode is going to be a bit of a deep dive, okay? Because I found the weirdest, most obscure, worst movie ever. And the weirdest part about it is that somehow no one has seen it, and yet everybody is in it. Literally, the list of cameos in this movie are endless. As far as I know, not one YouTuber has ever reviewed this movie, which I found so hard to believe. Usually there's always one person. I'll often type in whatever movie I'm reviewing into YouTube to just kind of see who else has reviewed it, if it's overdone or underdone. And when I type this into YouTube, nobody. For a second, I thought these two 12-year-olds had reviewed it, and I was like, sweet. And I clicked on it, and it turned out they were just reviewing a Nerf gun. So today we are talking about the movie Long Shot, starring Justin Timberlake, Britney Spears, NSYNC, Kenny Rogers, and literally everyone else that exists. And I do have a fun little backstory about how I found this movie. If you want to skip it, I totally understand. But don't. This is all just really weird to me. So I was doing some makeup and movies prep the other night, and I watched this movie called On the Line with Lance Bass. It was a suggestion from my viewers. It's really bad. But I always research the movies I review, okay? So I typed Lance Bass's name into YouTube to just see if there was an interview with him about the movie, or I don't know, I was just kind of seeing what I could find. So when I typed in Lance Bass on YouTube, this documentary popped up that Lance Bass actually created or produced or whatever, and it was called The Boy Band Con, the Lou Pearlman story. Have you heard of this? So Lance Bass actually made a documentary about this guy, Lou Pearlman, who was basically the creator of all of your favorite boy bands from the 90s. Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, LFO, O-Town, C-Note, literally all of them. Innocence, remember Innocence, not a boy band, but anyway, he created all these musical groups, put them all together, put them in a house, put them through boot camp, financed their choreography lessons, their voice lessons, took them on trips, all this stuff, all the while scamming them out of all of their money. Millions of dollars this guy was making off of NSYNC and Backstreet Boys and all these people, where they were making pennies, and this con artist was just reaping all the benefits of their hard work. If you're interested, I suggest you watch the documentary, and also just all of the interviews Lance Bass did promoting the documentary, because he talks even more about some of the stuff the guy did. It gets creepy. So anyway, long story long, literally the next day after I found all this out, I was perusing my Instagram comments, and I read this Instagram comment from a user named B. Hicks, and she said, if you thought this was bad, find the 2001 movie Long Shot. It's a weakly plotted movie jam-packed with pop star cameos. NSYNC, O-Town, Take 5, C-Note, Britney Spears, Innocence have cameos, and it doesn't stop there. Well, this obviously perked up my ears, because literally the night before, I had just watched this documentary about this Lou Pearlman creep who had created all of these bands that she mentioned. It was a weird coinky-ding. So I was like, I wonder if this creepy Lou guy created this movie. So I looked it up, and sure enough, this dumpster fire movie was created by this scammy, sleazy, swindly Lou Pearlman cat who stole tons of money from tons of people. He did so much more than con the boy bands. He orchestrated one of the biggest Ponzi schemes in human history. This guy straight up convinced people to invest into his business. It was called Transcontinental Airlines or something. Don't quote me on all the facts, but he convinced people he owned airplanes by literally holding a model plane and taking a picture of it at the airport. Out of this world, okay? Anyway, he created this movie and was somehow able to manipulate all of these incredibly famous people into being in his movie. Hey, editing Jamie here. So in my research since filming this, I also found out that Lou Pearlman also produced Popstar with Aaron Carter. There's a whole other rabbit hole with Aaron Carter, so you should look it up. And I know I'm rambling, I swear I'm almost done, but it gets even a little bit weirder. As I was taking in all this information and was oh my gosh, I can't wait to review this movie, I had this little memory creep into my brain, a little, this tiny little speck floating through the synapses in my brain. And I was wait a minute. I've heard of this movie. Last October, I got a comment from one of my viewers. I believe her name was Julie. She emailed me and we talked about this movie because her sister was literally in this movie. Her sister was a singer in the 90s named Tanya Mitchell, and this woman, Jessica, she told me all about this and I like slept on it or forgot about it or something. Well, not anymore, kids. I was asleep, but now I'm awake. Awakened to the burning, smelly dumpster fire that is this movie. And as if all of this wasn't weird enough, it's available to watch for free on YouTube. Literally, I scrambled to eBay to order the DVD. I was like, all right, I'll wait till it comes in. I'll rip it to my laptop, blah, blah, blah. You know, I was really bummed out. I didn't want to wait. And I remembered in that email from Jessica, whose sister was in the movie, that it's available on YouTube. This is just meant to be. That is the longest intro I've ever done. So, with all of that being said, buckle up, kids. Let's take a dumpster dive into Longshot.
Yeah, put it in. I am kind of curious to see what's going on. Yeah.
Today's episode of Makeup and Movies is brought to you by Tula. Tula is a doctor-founded, clean and effective skincare and wellness brand where 100% of the products are formulated with probiotics and superfoods, which is super cool. Tula products are cruelty-free, never tested on animals, and what I really like about them is that they focus on being healthy but not perfect. They really want to empower everybody in the community to feel confident in the skin they're in now, so forget the before and after. Tula's message is that you are always beautiful. How cool is that? Tula was founded by Dr. Rashini Raj, who is a practicing gastroenterologist, entrepreneur, mom, and probiotics expert. She had a light bulb moment when she noticed that not only did her patients feel good when they were on probiotics, but their skin actually looked great. Probiotics are a powerful natural ingredient that helps restore the natural balance of your skin's microbiome, soothe and nourish your skin, and boost its appearance. So she puts probiotics into all of her products, which I thought was very innovative, unique, and actually makes sense to me. I've been using these products for a few weeks. I really love the cleanser because it doesn't have a crazy lather, so I don't feel dry after I use it. I just take off my makeup, wash my face with this, and I know Tula doesn't really focus on before and after, but I just wanted to show you my before and after using the face wash because personally I think I look so... Oh God. I've talked a few times about the 24/7 moisturizer. It's very glowy, which I love. And another thing I love about it is that the next day, after I wear it at night, I'm still moisturized the next day, which doesn't always happen for us dry peeps, you know? And then my all-time favorite product is the cooling under eye stick. Oh my gosh. It's amazing. It's so cooling. Your under eyes feel cool for like 20 minutes. It's quite an experience and it's just so glistening and hydrating. I actually used it today before filming this video just to give me a little bit of extra hydration under the eye, and I am obsessed. So if you like probiotics and you're interested in checking out Tula, you can use the code JamieSaid at checkout to save 15% off your Tula purchase. So now that I'm soups glowy and soups hydrated, let's get on with the chlorophyll. Okay, so the first part of the movie is not actually relevant to the storyline at all. It's just kind of this weird, like, Inception-y thing I guess Lou Pearlman came up with so that O-Town could be in this movie. Remember O-Town? Motel sitting in the dark. They were good. What happened to their career? Oh yeah, Lou Pearlman happened. Anyway, yeah, first scene is the guys from O-Town sitting on a couch and they're watching an infomercial for the movie Longshot. They're kind of making fun of this infomercial. They made the infomercial very cheesy. And then suddenly the VHS tape shows up at their door. Someone in the band ordered it. They blame this guy from the band. I don't know his name. I don't know any of their names, but they blame this guy. They're kind of making fun of him, but then they just put the movie in. Really weird.
Oh, now you want to watch it. But I thought it was the dumbest movie.
It is, Trevor. So they pop the VHS into their cool little stereo system thing, super 90s, and then the actual movie starts. Now, the actual movie itself is a little bit confusing, so I just want to give you like a quick little synopsis. I'm going to read you directly what IMDb says about this plot, okay? Jack Taylor is a Beverly Hills fitness trainer who is blackmailed by a corrupt and powerful businessman, Laszlo Price. He is forced to seduce a wealthy widow in NYC to obtain insider information so his blackmailer can profit. Jack desperately tries to prevent harm from coming to his little brother Alex, but unexpectedly falls for the woman he is forced to betray. Now he must choose. I read that to you because if I had read the plot, before watching it, the movie would have made a little bit more sense. So now that you know the gist, allow me to introduce you to Alex.
Who?
Alex is just kind of an insecure high school student. He's just kind of a dweeby little guy. He's not too sure of himself. He's not very confident.
All you need is confidence.
He's playing b-ball, and somehow the game comes down to him and whether or not he makes this shot. I wasn't really clear on why it came down to him, apart from the fact that his teammates were like sleeping. But anyway, he totally fails. He misses the shot, and you will never stop hearing about it throughout this whole movie. Just be prepared. When all of a sudden, Topanga walks up. Yeah, that's right. Topanga's in this too. She comes up and she's like, yo, Alex, who are you taking to prom? He doesn't really know what to say. Again, he's not confident. So later on at home, we meet Alex's brother, Jack, who is actually the main character in this movie. Alex is just kind of lamenting, you know, that he lost the game-winning shot. He didn't make it. Jack's kind of like trying to comfort him, but he's distracted by the lack of pizza.
Great, no pizza.
No pizza. Not, oh dang, it's all gone, but just none. None pizza with left beef. Anyway, I'm gonna try this. So then we are blessed with this beautiful little, completely unrelated scene. It has nothing to do with the movie. It never comes back. There is no point other than to say that Justin Timberlake was in this movie. Literally. So Justin Timberlake is like a valet guy at a country club or something. He parks people's cars. Side note, how are we all feeling about Justin Timberlake right now? Did everybody watch Framing Britney? Does anybody want to apologize to me for being so mad at me that time like 2 years ago when I said I didn't really like him that much? Yeah, I didn't like NSYNC. I didn't like Justin Timberlake. And I didn't like his voice. Just kidding. And you know, I am a little mad at Justin right now, as we all are. However, he is a very talented artist, okay? But this had to have been made before he had really developed any acting skill. Like, explain to me what is up with these faces. It's literally 3 different faces. Watch it again. We got this face, we got this face, we got this face. Justy, I'm unsure of what emotion you want to convey. Anyway, the directors did something really clever. He goes to park this lady's car who happened to be listening to NSYNC, and he gets into her car and he's like, what is this music? Do you get it? Because it's him. If you're into that, you're in for a treat, because it happens every 5 seconds in this movie. Someone in the movie will say something that has to do with their own career and then look at the camera like, wasn't that funny?
But they've got to get in sync.
Cutting back over to our main man, Alex. He is at work. He works at like a cafe/record store. I didn't know anything like that existed, but I don't know most things. And his boss is that one guy who yells, you know?
Hey everyone, Alex is here.
His name's escaping me. Don't be mad. He plays a bit of a creep in this movie. Spouts off some pretty weird lines, in my opinion.
Hey, can I help you ladies out? Well, would you like to keep me as a pet? I'm housebroken.
Kind of makes sense considering who wrote this movie.
What are you listening to? Tell me what you're listening to.
Did anybody else think of the Chris Stapleton song at this part? What are you listening to? No one? Up walks Topanga. I don't know her name in this movie. I think it's Gloria, but she's Topanga.
Yeah.
And she's still just kind of wondering like who Alex is going to take to prom, but she's just aggressive about it, I feel like.
Who are you taking to prom?
You know, there's just a lot of non-consensual like groping. She's like, hey, too bad about the game, huh? I'm telling you, they just beat a dead horse when it comes to the fact that Alex lost at this game. You know, they keep referring to the fact that he missed a shot.
But this was a game-winning shot.
It could be a drinking game. In fact, take a shot every time they say the word shot.
Shot, 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 shot.
Just kidding, please don't do that. You'll die. So anyway, then we kind of cut back over to Jack. You know, Alex's brother, the main character. Jack is like in the movie doing the scenes, but he also narrates it, which is unique.
In fact, I was talking to my broker when things started to get a little crazy. Yo, Vicky, it's me, Jack.
He's making some phone calls. He calls his broker, Vicky. She's upset. She's like, do you know what time it is?
Do you have any idea what time it is?
I mean, you're in a dress with full hair and makeup. I feel like you seem awake. Anyway, Jack has to get off the phone because the car behind him is doing nothing. Literally, he's like, what is this guy doing? And the guy was doing nothing. They make another clever little reference to the fact that this is a movie.
It was like I accidentally drove onto the set of some cheesy teen movie with a bunch of cameos.
Isn't that just kind of odd. I don't think I've ever really seen a movie where they keep like reminding you that you're watching a movie. Anyway, the guy who was driving behind him, who was doing nothing, pulls up next to him and just like pulls out a gun. I was watching this on my couch and I was about to fall asleep and I saw that and I was like, oh God, I didn't expect that. Curveball. This scene is just so incredibly stupid. He gets like kidnapped by these guys, or adult napped, I guess you could call it. They're real aggressively like violent with him, slamming him against the hood and stuff. They force him into the back seat with this other bad guy. He's just been adult napped and shoved into the back seat of a stranger's car, and the first thing out of his mouth, he's just calmly like, what about my car?
What about my car?
What about your car, Jack? This is a car jack. Do you get it? Just kidding. They actually don't jack his car, they blow it up. This guy's got a car blower up where it's this real high-tech device. There's a lot of high-tech devices in this movie that just look hilarious now because this movie was made like 20 years ago. What are we watching? So anyway, the bad guys take Jack to the smoky rooftop. They end up knocking him out by hitting him in the back. That looked really real. They take him away in a copter. They physically push him out of a moving helicopter. And at this point in the movie, I was getting real confused because I was like, isn't this guy a personal trainer? That's what he said in the beginning of the movie. He's like, I'm a personal trainer and I drink raw eggs and like flirt with my female clients. Cool story, bruh. So it turns out that the bad guys who adult napped him, they're like henchmen. They work for this guy, Laszlo Price. Remember from the plot synopsis? The powerful businessman, you know? Anyway, if you haven't Wow. If you didn't notice, Laszlo is played by Paul Sorvino, who's a pretty famous actor. He was in the movie Goodfellas, which I have never seen, but I know it's like critically acclaimed. Oh my gosh, this thing's amazing. Anyway, seeing him was kind of my first moment where I was like, oh, he got like legit actors to be in this, not just the boy band people. How very strange. So anyway, the reason that Laszlo Price is so mad at Jack is because it turns out that Jack had had an affair with Laszlo's wife. Again, the guy is a fitness trainer, okay? So she was his client, sketchy stuff happened, and now Mr. Price is soups mad.
What were you thinking?
So instead of like beating Jack up, he decides to blackmail him into doing some dirty work for him. He's like, I want you to go to New York, meet this woman who inherited her dead husband's business, find out who she's selling her business to. And at first I was like, you know, Jack, this guy's not that scary, okay? Just punch him in the face, run out of the room, right? Well, he can't, okay? Because Mr. Price has a big, scary, terrifying baseball launching machine. This is how this rich millionaire gets people to do what he wants. If they tell him no, he'll shoot you with baseballs. I'm not gonna even act like that wouldn't hurt. Like, I wouldn't want to be shot at with baseballs, but I just thought that was literally the oddest thing that Lou Pearlman could have come up with for this character to threaten people with. Let me get this straight, okay? I just want to be clear. This big ol' powerful, hotshot, stock guy, millionaire, wants his wife's lover, I hate that word, to go to New York, meet a woman who inherited a business from her husband who passed, find out who she's selling it to. You want this guy to do that when you have a perfectly good staff of car blower uppers right at your disposal? Who wrote this? Oh yeah, Lou Pearlman. Jack doesn't want to get pelted with baseballs, you know, so he's like, all right, I guess I gotta do this weird task. So he's heading home, and of all the things that happen, he just can't believe they blew up his car.
I can't believe they blew up my car.
I can't either, because it's not believable. So back over to dweeby Alex. Alex is chilling at school and he's showing his nerdy friend, who is the literal most annoying character in this entire movie.
Well, hello, mi amore.
Don't know his character's name, don't want to know. Anyway, he's showing his friend this locket necklace thing that a customer at his work dropped. You know, at the diner/record store. Now kids, I want you to remember this, okay? Because it comes back. It's significant. So across the cafeteria, we see Gloria, sorry. Grow up. And you find out Gloria has a boyfriend. Yeah, after she was groping all over Alex at his work, turns out the whole time she was dating the kid from Home Improvement.
Alex should have passed me the ball.
So his character's name is Deke. Cool name. Deke. And he's like the bully. He's like the jockey bully. He's super mean to Alex. He keeps smashing their lunch trays onto their hands and stuff. They're like about to get into a fight, but then the teacher walks over and the teacher is just... They could not have possibly been more overly dramatic when creating this teacher's character. They took the nerdiness to the absolute extreme. Anyway, the Tool Time kid is like, I'm out of here. He yanks Gloria with him. Ooh, ow, ooh. So Alex is like soups frustrated. He goes to let out his anger at Jim. And this is when I really started to take notice of Alex's ponytail. It's a very unique ponytail. Shiny, slicked back, blunt on the ends like he just got a fresh cut. Shaved underneath, wiggles when he punches things. I think Alex's pony is the real star of this movie. Anyway, Jack like works out at this gym too, so he comes up and he's just kind of trying to make Alex feel better, and he's like, look, Alex, you gotta be more confident and diplomatic.
You gotta have confidence, be diplomatic.
Confident and diplomatic are two words that they use a bazillion times in this movie.
Confidence. Confidence. Diplomatic. Confident.
Which is always a little weird for me. I've seen it before where you can kind of tell that the writer of a movie is a bit inexperienced and he'll kind of overuse a word or a phrase that he or she really likes. Like remember in Rigoletto with the treats? So anyway, Jack is off to New York to complete his task. He's got to find this woman, find out who she's selling her business to, all that weird stuff. So he's chilling on his flight when suddenly the flight attendant comes up, and guess who it is? It's Britney Spears. Just cute as ever. And according to IMDb, this is like technically her first feature film, and no one even knows it exists. Isn't that weird? Anywho, I had a similar feeling watching Britney Spears in this movie as I had when I watched her in Crossroads. I don't know if it's just because of what I know now, but I just feel like while she's a good actress, she didn't want to be there. There's a vibe, you know?
It must have been some dream you had.
I felt it even stronger during the ending credits when they show some of like the behind the scenes footage. They show her taking a photo with the guy who played Jack. I don't know, she just looked uncomfortable. I just have this feeling that she was forced or coerced into doing this movie. Everything we know now about what Britney is going through, I could just see her dad or someone in her family being like, take the gig. Anyway, Britney goes to give the pilot his coffee, and oh my gosh, the pilot's Kenny Rogers.
You're my lady.
Kenny, you had nothing better to do. I need to understand the point of all of these celebrity cameos. Like, part of me gets it. It's like, okay, if you put big names in a movie, a lot of times it will ensure the film's success. But if that's the case, why not give him a few more lines? Literally, Kenny Rogers says one sentence.
You're my lady.
And then the co-pilot says this.
That's the way I like it.
And I was like, okay, that sounded significant. I don't recognize him, but judging by the fact that all these other famous people are in this movie, could he possibly be the guy who wrote, that's the way, I like it, And he is. It is him.
I like it.
Slow clap, Lou. Harry Wayne Casey, aka KC from Casey and the Sunshine Band. I ended up putting the dots together. Great musician, great songwriter. He's a bit of a legend, and he chose to be in this movie, written by this guy. Am I conveying how I feel to you guys? One thing that I just couldn't seem to find in all of my research, there's very little info about this movie. So something I couldn't figure out is what Lou Pearlman did to get all of these Grammy Award-winning musicians and famous people in this movie. By the way, Lance Bass is the flight engineer. You already saw this clip, but let's watch it again just so you can suffer like I have.
And we've lost all communication with air traffic control. I don't know what the problem is, but they've got to get in sync.
This is unwatchable. Anywho, the movie just progressively gets worse. The male flight attendant walks up. He was played by Darren Henson. And fun fact about Darren Henson is he, in real life, is a choreographer, and he actually created the choreography for Bye Bye Bye, which is the only NSYNC song I know. So again, guy's a bit of a legend, plays a super gross character who's behaving grossly. Can you not do that. He's grabbing all over Jack. I know you guys think that I think everything is creepy, and maybe I do, okay? But it just feels extra yucky to me now, knowing who wrote this movie. There's allegations about this guy, okay? In fact, according to Rich Cronin from LFO, this Lou Pearlman guy, not only a con artist, okay, he was also a creep. You know what I mean by creep? I'm telling you guys, every celebrity that like popped up for me in this movie sent me down a separate rabbit hole. Anyway, back to the story. Jack ends up miraculously finding this woman that he's supposed to find on his high-tech laptop that makes high-tech noises. And meanwhile, Alex is back at work, just trying to get through life, you know?
See you at school.
Okay.
Like the good Samaritan that he is, he returns that locket from earlier to the customer who dropped it. And though she is a stone-cold, hateful woman, her rough exterior is schmelted by the kind gesture of this young man. She's just so moved, or at least I think she is. I can't really tell if she's just super emotional or if she thinks the locket is like a phone.
Yes, hello, this is the lady from The Wedding Singer.
By the way, yes, it is the lady from The Wedding Singer. She's been in the movie like the whole time, but I didn't notice it was her until this scene when she turns her head real dramatically. She plays a much more serious role in this movie than she does in The Wedding Singer, but I can't take her seriously, A, because it's this movie, and B, because all I see when I look at her is hip hop.
Hippie to the hip.
Or what's the other song she sings in that movie?
No, I never heard them ringing till there was you.
I apologize. I gotta go grab my eyelashes, so we gotta take a little break. Don't go anywhere, we're like not even halfway done and it gets weirder and weirder. BRB. We're back with the literal world's best mascara, Sigma Sinuosity Lash. Where were we? Oh yeah, the lady from The Wedding Singer. She's just a silly little gal. She can't remember how to pronounce the word CD.
We just got one of those DC players.
Clever writing, Lou. The character's elderly, so you better make her also stupid. So we're cutting back over to Jack. As I said before, Jack has miraculously found the woman he was supposed to find in the middle of New York City without GPS. Her character's name is Rachel Montgomery, and Rachel Montgomery is super beautiful. So of course she's getting hit on by some smooth cats.
Is the name. Action's the game.
Action's the game. Great scripting, Lou. Honestly though, I can't believe she said no.
Oh, I'm waiting for, my dog trainer.
Side note, I'm looking at this on my laptop right now and I just am kind of noticing, why did the bartender steal Alex's pony? It's exactly the same shiny, slicked back, shaved underneath, even cups under a little bit. Rude. So back at home, Alex gets a visit from Jack's friends, Tommy and Vicky. Remember Vicky, the broker from earlier?
Do you have any idea what time it is?
Jack apparently asked them to like look after Alex while he's in New York. He's afraid that Mr. Price is gonna do something to Alex while he's gone. The only thing slightly significant about this scene was Tommy. He keeps talking about this nightclub that he wants to open. Brings it up a few times throughout the movie, like it's a nightclub, it's a nightclub.
It's a nightclub.
He's got this whole vision and I just really like his description of what he wants for the nightclub.
I got these guys outside, and they're almost like naked, you know, and they got the bikinis selling ice cream at the same time.
Wait, what?
Selling ice cream at the same time.
It was also interesting because while Tommy is like describing this vision that he has for his nightclub, we get a glimpse of this guy who I didn't realize at the time, but that's Devin from LFO. I was looking at him and I was like, oh, he looks like a Chippendale. And then I remembered that Lou Pearlman owned the Chippendales, which I guess is neither here nor there, but also, I don't like him owning all these boys, you know? Especially after I read this Vanity Fair article where it said that he wanted all the boys in the Chippendales and all the bands he owned to call him Big Papa. Is that what I should call him for the rest of this review? Big Papa. Gross. Back to the movie. Guys, I'm sorry. So Jack and Rachel are hitting it off. They're a few drinks in, and what happened to your hair, Rachel? Seriously. They're at a quiet little jazz bar. She's had maybe 2 glasses of wine. Why is she so weird now?
Okay, I'm a taxi.
Anyway, they go their separate ways. Rachel ends up going to this restaurant the next day, and Screech is the waiter at the restaurant.
I dropped out of high school for this.
You guys, I'm done. I'm done. I'm not gonna acknowledge any more famous people that are in this movie. Just kidding, I totally am. But do you know what I mean? It's never ending. It's too much, it doesn't make sense to me, and it's incredibly weird that I haven't laid eyes on Dustin Diamond in what feels like 20 years until I recently learned of his death, and now he's in this movie. I'm not gonna make fun of him, okay? I'm just saying it's weird that I found him here. Why is he here? Why is he in this movie? I searched for a little bit. I couldn't find anything else linking Lou Pearlman to Dustin Diamond, so I guess it was just this movie. However, just because I couldn't find the information doesn't mean it doesn't exist, and I just have this feeling that there's more to that story of why Dustin Diamond is in this movie. Should I do a whole video about this Lou guy? I want to. So anyway, as I said, Rachel is having lunch at this restaurant with her friend Tammy. And what's that? Jack shows up. What a coincidence. And Rachel's like, oh my God, Jack. Sorry I was so weird last night. And he's like, nah, it's all good. You were a perfect lady. No, she wasn't. And Rachel's like, well, look, I want you to meet my friend Tammy.
This is my friend Tammy.
And you guessed it, guys, another celebrity cameo, a very famous celebrity cameo by Tammy Samich.
This is my friend Tammy. She works with me.
Yeah, we work over there at that Bass Pro Shop. Do you know it?
Tammy?
Now, what in tarnation are you doing?
Would you like to join us?
You know, I'd love to, but I just ate.
Yeah, I thought you smelled a little bit like eggs. You been drinking raw eggs or something? I was shocked. I was shocked that she did this movie. Hey, you know what I just thought of? A Tammy cameo is a Tammy-o. So back at the record store, this person is there. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say who it is.
Art Garfinkel!
Why? Actually, I know why. Turns out Art Garfunkel was Lou Pearlman's like cousin. And according to this documentary, Lou would kind of like use the fact that he was related to Art Garfunkel to get people to believe he was really successful. And one of many things he used to his advantage to like trick people into thinking he was legit. And again, I know I keep saying it, but I'm just amazed that Art Garfunkel agreed to this. I just get this visual of Lou Pearlman being like, hey, Art Garfunkel, my Grammy Award-winning cousin. Want to do something gross with your time?
Honey, this is crazy. Let's go.
She's got the right idea. So Jack goes to pick up Rachel for their date, and she's weird again. They sit down to dinner, and Rachel just immediately starts giving Jack all of this information about the business. He just literally telling him all the information that he was sent there to get.
My company's name is Shape CD. My husband got the technology from Germany.
Why'd you do that, Lou? He can't hear me. He died. Anyway, the date is just bonkers, okay? They could not have made it go any more glaringly stupid. She's trying to get to know him and she's like, are you a spy? He's like, no. I can't stop thinking about your company.
I can't stop thinking about your company. Really want to help.
You already have.
What? When? How? What did he help with? Well, anyway, Jack is obviously falling for Rachel. He calls Mr. Price and he's like, look, deal's off. I'm not gonna give you info about this lady because she's super hot. Mr. Price is not feeling that. Remember, he doesn't like to be told no. He'll get you with his baseball machine. So he threatens to hurt Alex, and he's also really good at getting off the phone.
Goodbye, stupid.
So anyway, because Mr. Price threatened to hurt Alex, Jack has him put on the first flight to NYC the next morning, you know, so that he can look out for him. And then Alex ends up meeting Rachel's daughter. By the way, Rachel has a daughter. They just randomly happen to bump into her and her daughter when she's sitting on a park bench. I don't understand how this lady doesn't realize that this guy is stalking her yet. He literally just keeps showing up everywhere she goes.
Rachel?
And again, I really want to know how he keeps finding her because this was filmed in 2001. And while they had some really high-tech devices, it's not like she could share, she couldn't drop a pin. I really want to know what her and her daughter were talking about before the guys walked up.
You have to be selective and
Rachel?
you have to look.
The dialogue is just so weird. They all like start talking over each other.
He's in from California to spend some time with. Hi, how are you?
Yeah.
A lot of times in movies when the characters kind of talk over each other, it can give it a very natural feel because, you know, that sometimes happens in real life. But this was all like overdubbed in post-production, so it just feels weird.
What?
I don't know. I can't believe
believe
this is so weird.
That's amazing.
What an idea.
Yeah.
Anyway, immediately after meeting Alex, Rachel's daughter's like, how about I show you New York? And they just leave. Alex is, he's nervous. He's not confident. He's like, what do I say? And Jack tells him to rap.
What do I say? Rap.
That doesn't ever come back either. I don't know what that means. Was he hoping that while they're walking the streets of New York that Alex would just be like, hip hop mama, let's speak in Spanish. So after her daughter leaves to go for a walk with a guy she just met in New York City, her mom is very proud.
She's smarter than I thought.
Kelly ends up taking Alex to a pizza joint and she orders a PP with BO.
We'll take an 18-inch PP with BO.
Oh, an 18-inch PP. I'm not gonna laugh at that anymore because I'm mature. So anyway, the cooks at the restaurant are Joey Fatone and JC Chasez from NSYNC. They have a fun little banter. And just when you thought that there were no more members of NSYNC to show, Chris Kirkpatrick walks up. He literally keeps coming up to them to borrow stuff. Again, it serves no purpose. It offers no comic relief. It feels awkward and out of place. Just so Lou Pearlman could say, hey, these guys are in my movie. We also get a cameo from Brad Fischetti, who sent me down another rabbit hole. Did you guys know, I just learned last night, that 2 out of the 3 members of LFO have passed away. Rich Cronin passed away, I think, in 2010, and then Devin just passed a couple years ago, both from cancer. So Brad is now the only member left. He lost his 2 best friends. My heart just broke for him when I was reading about it. He seems like such a good person, and I'm really sad that he was forced to do this movie. Ooh, I love this part. LFO starts playing Summer Girls. You have no idea how bad I want to just get demonetized and play the song for you guys, but like, not that bad. Summer Girls is the single greatest boy band song of all time, in my opinion. So my favorite scene's coming up, you guys. Alex and Kelly, Rachel's daughter, they go to this like Sprangbrook pool party thing with karaoke. I can't stop laughing. And at first I thought like, oh, this is MTV hosting Spring Break, but no, it's Beat TV. I guess Lou couldn't buy the rights to use the MTV logo, which I can't make fun of him for because I couldn't either. I tried to get it for my Sprangbrook merch that's coming. I couldn't. Anyway, Alex ends up singing karaoke, and boy, is it cringe. But you gotta show and tell me too. Now you got a reason to give love. All of a sudden, dweeby little Alex, who's nervous to talk to any girl, just is a karaoke master. It's almost as though he's more confident and diplomatic. The audience seems to be split. The judges really like it. By the way, the judges are the musical group known as Full Force, who happened to write the song All I Have to Give by the Backstreet Boys. Easter eggs everywhere. Anyway, they like it. They think he's really good, but this guy's kind of underwhelmed. Personally, I was very moved. The beautiful melody and the little white floppy hat and his hair blowing in the wind. Anyway, the song ends and they hug and it's cute. So meanwhile, Jack finds out from Rachel that the only way that she can keep from having to sell her company is if she can come up with $2 million in cash.
My accountant says if I can come up with $2 million cash, we wouldn't have to sell.
What? Again, doesn't make sense to me, but most things don't. Jack headed back to his hotel room and he gets lost, so he has to enlist the help of this police officer, which is Rich Cronin from LFO. And I suggest you go down the rabbit hole I went down about LFO and all of the allegations that they have against Lou Pearlman. It was wild. Anyway, Jack is he's fed up with this whole scheme. He decides to come clean. He tells Rachel everything. She totally loses her mind, beats him up. It's weird. All kinds of bad stuff starts happening. Kelly and Alex end up getting mugged by The Rock. No, you are not seeing things. Dwayne The Rock Johnson did this movie, and Dwayne, I just want to talk. I just want to know how much Lou paid you. So The Rock and Alex get into this physical altercation, and if you think Rock is going to win because that is the logical and realistic choice, you're wrong. That's right, guys. Alex defeats The Rock.
Come on, let's go!
Well played, Lou. Wait, what was Kelly doing during this scene? I can't remember.
Alex!
Who? I didn't catch that. Hey, you guys want to see a weird transition?
If Jack didn't do a price wanted, they would have killed me.
That was weird, right? Want to see it again?
They would have killed me.
Country boy, I love you.
So Rachel decides to forgive Jack. She goes to his hotel. By the way, what kind of hotel room is this? There's like a fish tank in the wall. There's a hole in the floor. I mean, it's fun, but like, why? Jack gets a call from his ex-lover, Mr. Price's wife, remember her? And she tells him that Price actually has an office in New York. And in this office is all of Price's personal files. And Jack's like, well, this is my chance, you know? If I can get his personal files, maybe I can get out of this whole scheme I'm involved in. So Jack and Alex sneak into Mr. Price's building. There is a security guard there, but he doesn't see him. He's too busy watching Innocence on this squiggly CD. Alex unlocks the door miraculously with a device.
Bingo, bingo.
Alex has a lot of devices in this movie. I don't remember why. Jack also must be a hacker because he's typing on the computer. He's like, I'm in.
I'm in.
Like that meme.
I'm in.
How did you get in? Anyway, Alex uses yet another high-tech device to unlock this vault thing. And within this vault, they find these little floppy disks. Turns out it's video footage of Mr. Price pelting people with baseballs. They find 2 discs. One of them is labeled Alan Stein, and the other one is labeled Tommy Sutton. Remember his friend?
I got these guys outside.
Anyway, they take the tapes. They're like, all right, we got proof. He's a bad guy. We got something on him. We can get out of this scheme. They miraculously appear back at their hotel room with yet another device. This device actually keeps Mr. Price from being able to tap Jack's phone. It's incredibly sophisticated for a 16-year-old. Alex is just a hero. Think about it. He has great hair. He can beat up The Rock. He has great vocals. He has tons of devices. And he's confident and diplomatic. Jack finally calls up Mr. Price and he's like, all right, I have the name of the company that Rachel is selling her company to, and it's called Pearlcam.
The name of the company is Pearlcam.
Which, side note, is really stupid because Pearlcam is an actual real production company. I guess it's Lou Pearlman's production company. Yeah, that makes sense. Pearlcam. He used the name of his own company. Anyway, so with this new information, now that he knows that Pearlcam is the buyer, he's able to like buy a bunch of stock. I don't know, it's some sort of insider trading thing that I'm not gonna pretend to understand, but it finally explains why Mr. Price needed this info so bad. Meanwhile, Jack is also calling the police, and by police, I mean Lou Pearl Creep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. He had a perfectly good police officer in the form of Rich Cronin, but no. He had to cast himself in his own garbage movie. Anyway, it's so incredibly stupid. Because Jack's like, hey, I have information on Alan Stein and Tommy Sutton.
Okay, bye-bye.
Great police work. Something tells me that that's exactly how Lou Pearlman would be if he were a cop. Okay, bye.
Hey, Stephanie, do you have any more jelly donuts?
So Alex and Kelly say their goodbyes. Alex has to go back to wherever he came from, and he gets into a cab, and the cab driver's character is so ridiculous.
Where'd you go?
Kennedy.
Jess, he was a great man.
No, the airport.
Passport?
No. Kennedy.
Jess, he was a great man.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lou Pearlman's movie, where if you suddenly can't remember what your job is. Seriously, cannot roll my eyes any harder. Ooh, ow. Anyway, guys, plot twist. Jack and the gang, they outsmarted Mr. Price. I didn't totally understand what happened, but I think Rachel just didn't sell her company after all. So they gave Price bad information. So all those stocks he bought ended up being worthless.
All my stocks are worthless.
But I don't get it. I feel like even if I understood the stock market thing, this still wouldn't make any sense because she said she had to sell her company. Like, this wasn't an option. Not to mention it all could have been done without them having to use these weird devices to break into his office.
Bingo, bingo.
I really liked the little like stock market news flash that was happening on the TV. The text banners at the bottom. Markets decline as concerns of interest rates rise persist. Interest rates rise persist. Wait, what? I'm second guessing myself, but shouldn't it be rising interest rates persist? Forget it. Back at school, things are weird.
Good job.
Alex finally beats up Deke. He's like, I've beat up The Rock, okay? Deke is but a peasant. I'm now more confident and diplomatic.
Good job.
All right, guys, we're in the home stretch. You don't want to miss this incredibly weird conclusion. So the wedding singer lady's little side plot, it finally comes back. Again, she was so moved by Alex's like Good Samaritan gesture that she gives him some tickets to a professional basketball game.
They're tickets to a celebrity basketball game.
During which Take 5 is performing at the halftime show. Romance. I saw Take 5 live at this festival me and my mom went to called the All That Music and More Festival, and I remember thinking it was the greatest sound I had ever heard. Like, I thought they were amazing. I had no idea that Lou Pearlman put them together too. Weird. So the basketball announcer guy comes on TV and he announces this little contest. He's like, listen, we're gonna call out someone's seat number, and if that person can make a basket from the middle of the court, they'll win $3 million.
$3 million?
$3 million. Very realistic numbers in these movies. Well, whose seat number do you think they're gonna call? Spoiler alert, it's Alex.
Well, that's you, that's your seat.
The wedding singer lady hooked him up.
Thank you for being a friend.
With a special ticket. Alex runs down, he like weirdly hugs everybody, gets his bearings, he's ready, he's a changed man. He shoots the basket.
How can you throw a ball that slowly?
And he misses. I'm just kidding, he totally makes it. Everybody's cheering, everyone's so happy, everybody's watching from home. It's just a pivotal moment. He gets $3 million. Anyway, there's this big party at the end at a nightclub that turns out to be Tommy's nightclub. He finally achieved his dream. Also, the Chippendales are there. You also find out Rachel's company is saved.
We got a buyer for the company.
Okay, I get it. So she needed $2 million from her boyfriend's 16-year-old brother so that someone else could buy her company. I need to take a business class. Anyway, you thought the movie was over, didn't you? But you must have forgot that this was a movie within a movie. It kind of cuts back to O-Town. And it was weird because they kind of hint that O-Town was going to come out with their own movie too.
Our own movie? Why not?
Which is probably gonna send me down another rabbit hole because I want to look that up. They also did that thing at the end of the movies where it kind of tells you like what each character ended up doing with their life as if it were a true story. Vicky became the chief financial officer of the Chippendales. No, she didn't, Lou. It was you. We get another shot at Justin Timberlake, who's complaining.
Oh, it's hard work.
Shut up, Justin. And finally, the movie's over. By the way, guys, my lights are dying. I know. This film had a budget of $20,300,000 because Lou Pearlman was a millionaire because he was taking money from his elderly friends, ruining their lives and just fattening his own wallet. So he had the money to make this terrible project. That budget makes perfect sense to me considering everybody that was in this movie. Boy, do I have some reviews to read you. I want to just like screen record what I saw when I was scrolling through IMDb because it was just so funny. This review comes from an IMDb user named Cheddar who says, ow. Just saw this on cable. I'm in great pain. It's really bad. Please, please don't watch this movie. It will cause you nausea and diarrhea as it did me. Oh, here's a 1 out of 10. Vanity project for Lou Pearlman. Okay, yikes. I'm not gonna read this one, but maybe you should read it yourself. You get the idea, guys. It's bad. So guys, this is weird, right? It's weird that it fell into my lap right after watching this documentary. It's weird that I heard about this last October from my friend Jessica. I forgot about it. It's weird that Dustin Diamond was in it. It's weird that it exists. And unlike most of the movies I review where I like hate them, but I also kind of love them, I don't love this one. It's just I know too much. I know too much about Lou. Thanks for being here. I know this was long. I know it was a lot to unpack, but I had to unpack it all. And while I am mostly a comedian and a makeup artist, I know I don't really dabble into like the more serious content. I am kind of itching to like dive a little deeper into this whole boy band thing. I don't know. What do you think? Do you want me to? The reason I'm interested is just because it was such a big part of like my childhood. I wasn't really a huge NSYNC or Backstreet Boys fan, but all my friends were, and it was very prevalent. They were always in my face, you know. I'm just fascinated by all of this. So friends, as always, let me know your suggestions down below. As you can see, I take your suggestions seriously. Thanks again to my friends for recommending this, and thanks again for Tula for sponsoring today's episode. Love you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Did I miss something? I feel like I missed something. Great, no pizza.
I would like some pizza, and I was going to see if you wanted something.
You would like some pizza?
Yeah.
Where from?
Domino's.
Don't you dare talk about lava cakes.
She loves lava cakes.
Whatever you do though, don't listen to his interview he did with Howard Stern. It's disgusting. Howard Stern is disgusting. This is just a side note. Also, I was gonna audition for All That at that festival, but I didn't want to wait in line. I was too hot. Then we get this random little cameo from C-Note. Remember the band C-Note? Also created by Lou Pearl Creep, whose band name stood for creating nothing other than excellence. Does this movie count as excellence?